My name is Razak Musbah. But before we get into it, we have a very important activity that's happening on Sunday. Very, very important activity. And this one goes out to all my cycling lovers. Very special event coming up on Sunday. We'll get to talk about it. Is this year's 2024 edition of the Pro Ride coming up on September 2nd at the Independence Square. We'll get to talk about it very shortly. We understand registration is over, so if you're planning to register, it's closed, but it's going to be exciting, really going to be exciting. Now, let me tell you about Betway, because guys, in this new season, new football season, it is time for you to make money, time for you to get some cash into your account. The system is tough, and as you say, the baby girls are demanding, the family is demanding, everybody is demanding, so you need to get extra cash, and Betway is highly recommended. So with Betway, you are guaranteed to get more chances to play. Betway's Pick Your Prize lets you choose your preferred promotion to make the perfect play every week, from free flight to free spins. And I'm talking about the Betway Casino Way. Now, in addition, you will also stand a chance to choose your own prize, from vouchers to electronics and the grand prize of an airline ticket. All you need to do is visit betway.com.gh to find out more. Terms and conditions do apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. And remember that bet the responsible way, because at Betway, you get way more. Also, Petrosol Platinum Energy. We say that every drop matters just as every penny counts. And it's important you know also that good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance. And it also reduces maintenance cost. And it's important, therefore, to take no risks in times like this. All you need is value for your money. So look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol, Petrosol Platinum Energy fuel station. We're talking about Petrosol. Yes, Petrosol, guys. For your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer, fuel smiles, drive more miles, and save some money with Petrosol. Petrosol, your clean quality fuel in full quantity. Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing your dream. So Petrosol, highly recommended. And pretty much, what's his name? You hear from Muftar very shortly ahead that he's getting his car. His car is still on the sea coming in, and sure he's going to be connecting with Petrosol for some fuel, there. But let me also tell you about, if you're looking to make payment to the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, then we've made it easier than ever. Now, all you need to do is to dial *725# on any network, select merchant, enter the till ID 32676576, and follow the prompt to pay. You can also scan the GHQR code for quick and secure payment. If you prefer direct bank transfers, then no problem. You can deposit straight into any of our accounts at EcoBank, Spintex branch, account number 14410022859196, or GCB Liberty House branch, account number 117113000233, or Societe General Ghana Okaishi branch, account number 820-1000-4940. For more information, visit our website at cimgghana.org, or contact us via email at kajikum@cimgghana.org. Make your payment to CIMG the easy way. Highly, highly recommended again to you. Okay, so that's it. This is Game Plan. We are live on Hits 103.9 FM and also on your superstation, Joe 99.7 FM. I spoke to you about Pro Ride, that long-awaited Pro Ride that's coming your way on Sunday at the Independence Square. Man, all cycle lovers, man. Remember when I was young, I used to tell you the way I suffered before I learned how to ride a bicycle, and the injuries we had to pick up, and the many falling we had to fall. Hey, Charlie. Oh, no, we tire. I have to do a race with Muftar, and I think I choose the one I can beat. But guys, guess what? It is Pro Ride, and Prudential, are the ones who are, putting this together. They are the brain behind it, and we've got them in studio. We've got their head of sustainability at Prudential Life Insurance in studio. Emmanuel Hammond is in studio with me, and he's looking very, very. He's ready to cycle. He's looking ready to cycle. and I like it. I like how Emmanuel is looking in the studio. You look ready to cycle.
I am ready to cycle.
You look ready to cycle.
But what distance can he cover?
I think
How many distance can you cover?
Do you want us to talk about that now?
you know what I'm curious about? What I'm curious is your experience learning how to ride a bicycle. How did it go for you?
Well, similar to yours. When I started, I remember falling to a gutter and getting injured, and then I had PTSD after, and I really struggled to get onto a bike later. But eventually, I was able to overcome my PTSD.
I hope it was a small gutter.
It was a small gutter, luckily for me. So.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Man, I think my experience, I remember, you see there's these kind of bicycles that you apply the brake by turning the paddles backwards. So I was riding the bicycle, Charlie, coming down. And I forgot that, Charlie, the brake, no. Yeah, the pad and the coach. Charlie, and they press the thing, the press. Charlie, I just put my leg for the ground like that,
Do you remember Phoenix bicycle?
That was dangerous.
That was
Do you remember the
really
Phoenix bicycle, the big one?
Yeah. The Buzanga one. The Buzanga one.
That's what I used to learn.
Wow.
Charlie.
Wow.
The falling. Hey.
You know the thing about our brothers or our cousins when they're helping us to ride is that they'll be pushing you small.
Yeah, they'll just let you go.
You'll say, hey,
you go and land somewhere.
And when you fall, they'll tell you, yeah, that's part of the learning process.
It is part of the
it's
learning.
It's great. So, I mean, Poo Ride is coming away on September 2nd. This is the 5th edition.
It's actually September 1st.
September 1st.
This Sunday.
This Sunday, September 1st, I beg your pardon, on Sunday. And it's the 5th edition.
Yeah.
My goodness. 5 years running.
5
You've
years.
been consistent with it. How's the experience been so far?
It's been rewarding. We started in 2019, and that was the first ever Poo Ride, and it went really well. But over the years, we've seen the numbers grow, we've seen interest grow year on year. We see people coming even from Nigeria, from other countries, West African countries, to compete. In fact, last year, the winners for the women's competition were women from Nigeria, and that was really, really exciting.
Wow.
So as I said, we've seen the numbers grow, interest grow, and that tells us that we're doing something good. And we can't wait to see what Poo Ride will look like in the next 10 years.
So what is actually Poo Ride?
All right, so Poo Ride is Ghana's biggest cycling event, right? It is actually, and Poo Ride was actually modeled after Ride London.
Okay.
And we've been doing this for the past 5 years. And what we want to do is to promote fitness, health and fitness. We really care about building resilient communities. And we believe that cycling is one way to stay fit. When you cycle, you move your body, your muscles, your heart pumps really, fast. And that helps prevent certain lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, some heart problems as well. The other thing about cycling is that it's also an environmentally friendly way to move around in town. I think recently I saw one prime minister riding a bike. Was
it the Netherlands prime minister?
I think it was the Netherlands prime minister. I was like, wow, this is good. This is really good, But unfortunately, Ghana, we're not really. It's growing. The sport is growing, and the interest is growing. That's really exciting. So we hope that people adopt cycling as a way to stay fit, but also to move around, reduce your carbon emissions. We all do not have to drive, but just get a bike and move around, and stay fit, reduce your carbon emissions. Let's, take care of the environment. So
that's one thing I want to understand. There are many sporting disciplines, right? That Prudential Life Insurance could have decided, okay, this is what we want to do. Why did you choose cycling?
As I said, Poo Ride was modeled after Ride London, right? And again, cycling is not it's a lesser known sport, right? So yes, we want to promote cycling, because also anybody can cycle. anybody can cycle. If you compare that to football, not everyone can play football. Yeah, so anybody can cycle. So it's more inclusive compared to other forms of sports. So
yeah. And to be fair, I think I've seen similar events organized. I've seen Pro Rise Zambia, I've seen Pro Rise Singapore.
Yes.
I was just checking around the socials and I've seen that. It's like, man, it's everywhere, man. And this is Ghana's very own. You know.
Pro Rise Ghana is the best too, by the way.
Definitely. But let's talk about these years, and sure, for all those who have registered, and just to clarify, is the registration window closed?
Yes, it is. It closed on the 25th of August, and we do this to give us a sense of the numbers to expect, so we prepare for everyone. So we do not encourage late registration. That said, if you've not registered and you want to register, you can come to the Black Star Square, and there'll be some form of a special registration for you. But of course that may not be so nice. So we encourage everyone to register ahead of time and to before the deadline closes. So yes, you can register now, but
but if I come on Sunday, I can participate.
You can
in a way.
In a way, yes.
And will I get some of the prizes?
Yes, you can. You have to win though. If you don't win,
I mean, talking about the prizes though, talk to me about what you've got for the cyclists this year. I've seen some, very juicy prizes you've got there.
Okay, so we have two categories. We have the professional race and the amateur race. So for the professional race, the first or the winner walks away with a cool 15,000 cedis. The second gets 8,000, third 5,000. Fourth to 10th, 1,000 each. Oldest male gets 1,005 cedis. Youngest male 1,005, and then we have the female winners as well. The first female gets 1,000. The second 5,000. The third 3,000. Fourth to 10th 700. Oldest female 1,000 cedis, youngest female 1,000 cedis. And this year we have a special prize. We want to encourage people living with disability to also take part. So we have a special prize for people living with disability, and that's 1,000 cedis. I want us to, so the female riders will do a shorter distance. So professionals are doing 100 kilometers. I forgot to mention this year is our 10th anniversary. So we're really Prudential Life Ghana. Yes.
Wow, amazing.
So this is the 10th anniversary edition of Pro Ride. It's a very special one. So a lot of our things are in the 10s, right? So this year 100 kilometers. The amateurs are doing 20 kilometers. So the females will do a shorter distance.
So when you say the amateurs, you're referring to people like Musbao?
Yes, people.
How do you know I'm not a professional?
Amateurs are people who.
How do you know I'm not a professional?
So you may not be a professional, but maybe you love cycling. You are probably an advanced, cyclist or intermediate. You should join the amateur race. In order to qualify as a professional, you need to have a UCI number. So we've been doing this with the Cycling Federation. The Cycling Federation is the body that regulates cycling in Ghana. So if you're not a professional, if you don't have a UCI number, you're not a professional. And you may have to see the Cycling Federation to get you one. So let's move on to the amateur race. The first or the winner walks away with the 3,000 cedis. Again, the amateurs are doing 20 kilometers. The second walks away 2,000, third 1,000 cedis. First female 2,000, second female 1,005, third 1,000 cedis. Fourth to 10th 500 cedis. The oldest rider 50 plus. You have to be 50 plus to qualify for this. You get 500 cedis, and the youngest rider also gets 500 cedis.
Amazing. I think it's going to be really fun come Sunday. It's going to be really, really, really fun, and we're all looking forward to it. Let's just get your final message. Any people you want to thank for, that will be supporting you come Sunday, and then, we can look forward to the event itself on Sunday.
Right. So I just want to say big thank you to the Cycling Federation. We've been doing this with them for the past 5 years, and we're really grateful to them. Want to thank Decathlon. Decathlon is one of our sponsors. So if you don't have a bike, you need a bike, just visit the Decathlon store and get one for yourself. Afro culture events, Reggie's Juice Bar, and Coa Naturals. Luxury recreations, special ice, Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center, and of course Carbon AV Limited.
Yeah,
yes.
Amazing. Yeah, so guys, you just heard from Emmanuel Hammond, and he's with Prudential Life Insurance, and they are the brain behind the Pru Ride. It's their 10th anniversary, and we're all going to be at the Independence Square come Sunday to celebrate with them. So just come along. You can bring your kids along, carry the bicycle, let them just come and have fun. They don't have to. If they don't have to, go the full length. They can just be around the Independence Square. All right, just find out.
Yeah, one more thing. So you don't even have to ride to enjoy Pru Ride. You can just come along with your family. There'll be some fun games on the grounds. There'll be refreshment. Just come meet corporate people, join the community of cyclists, and just come have fun.
Yeah, man.
And cheer them on.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, man, guys. So that's Pru Rides coming your way on Sunday, and just a big, note of caution to all drivers. We have the designated routes, and if you can just go through some of that, so that the drivers could just allow a cyclist to have smooth ride within the period that it will be.
So let me go through the route for the amateurs. Yeah. So the amateurs begin from the Black Star Square. They go all the way up to Labadi Beach.
Yeah.
They turn left to Trade Fair, and down to Bema Camp, to Elwak, and then 37 to Flagstaff House, and then a Ridge Runabout, and then back to the Independence Square. Yeah, that's for the amateurs.
Wow.
The professionals who start from the Black Star Square, they'll go to the Osu Cemetery, down to Ridge Runabout, and then they'll drive up to Ridge Hospital, and then left to Tigo, and then they'll come back to the Black Star Square. They'll do, I think, about 29 times because they are doing 100 kilometers.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
100 kilometers.
Yeah.
Those days I was in the village, I would have won this easily.
We beg.
It's not too late.
We beg. Emmanuel, thank you very much for coming to the studio.
Thank you.
And to all the cyclists that have registered, we are looking forward to it. Well, the guys are gonna join us for the real conversation here on the show. So much to look forward to. But attention, Ghana, a pivotal moment in our nation's history is about to unfold on Sunday, 1st September 2024 at 7:30 p.m. The visionary leader of the New Force movement, Nana Kwame Bediako, will redefine convention with Ghana's first ever virtual policy lounge. This groundbreaking event will be broadcast live on all national TV and radio stations and social media platforms. So join us as we witness history in the making and hear directly from the candidate about a vision that dares to dream bigger, reach further, and achieve the unprecedented. So get involved, get informed, and be part of the movement that is set to shape Ghana's tomorrow. Mark your calendars for Sunday, 1st September 2024 at 7:30 p.m. And let's build a better Ghana together. New Force movement in the Daso Aba. But also, there is the Chopbox Technologies Limited. Are you a parent or family member with a loved one in boarding school, struggling to get provisions of books to them on time? Why not try Chopbox, an easy-to-use online platform available on Android and iOS, designed for your convenience. With Chopbox, you can 1. Buy books and provisions. 2. Take advantage of quick buy with pre-packed packages. Send thoughtful birthday messages, all delivered directly to their school. Plus, our new durable plastic chop boxes are specially designed to fight against bed bugs and mold. So say goodbye to wooden boxes and switch to plastic. You can visit www.chopboxonline.com or download the Chopbox app now. You can search Chopbox online. For customer support, call or WhatsApp us at 030-2239-134 or 053-047-4694. Chopbox, a convenient service for students nationwide. Convenient wholesale available for business, events, restaurant, bars, and of course, households. Well, this is still a game plan, and the boys are ready. And the boy says that they've got a special request to start the show with. And so we're going to give them something to... Where's Achu? Achu just... Where's Achu? Well, okay, Achu will be back. Sicho is here. And let's see. So we are going to start with Sicho. When Achu come, he will also connect. He will also enter the spirit. This is the banger of the moment. This is the moment, and this is the moment. Charlie, in your way, say, "Nyawo there," and the winning Ghana. Say, "Nyawo there," and the winning Ghana. And I'm talking about the great Paluta.
No, what did they do? What did they try?
Were you streaming?
No, what did they try to achieve?
I was just moving my body.
No, but this track is a banger, man.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's a real banger.
It's a banger. Can go all the way to Christmas. I'm sure it's going to be one of the tracks people are going to use to jam in Christmas.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a real banger.
And it's also like, because it's an adapted song for the MPP. Like for the rallies, it's going to be big. So I mean, it's a good. I like what he's done with this song. The strategy, just tee up with a big political party in campaign season. On every stage, it will be beaming throughout December. Charlie, so Charlie be good thing. The guy will make money.
Yeah,
show business, man. Use your head.
Yeah, man.
Congrats to him.
Real stuff.
They say when you are called, go and take the money and do it.
Oh, if I take share, but if you can say some political party call me, say I can't do something sports, then use my mind, take share. I know I'll go. Why? I know looking for the betterment of Ghana. Yeah, I'll go. But
The
if the thing,
plus the pocket.
if I go, where that thing they do, I mean, I go talk. I'm not like change that. I'm here. No. Of course, I have my preference, but I'll still go talk. Even for my preference, I'll still go talk. Say the money and that's the difference.
Achu is not coming. Achu is not coming.
No, so one of the things I realized about Achu is that most Fridays he has this kinky joint. Anytime he is, every Friday he's running. For whatever reason, I don't know where he gets that.
Running to where? Running to where? This is what
I don't know. Achu is the
Alaji is doing behind me.
I don't know. It's
Running
behind
to where?
you. I don't see that here.
You started the story. You didn't know I would walk in. Now he's been caught.
He said Achu is coming.
He's got to a pants down, eh?
Yes.
Oh no, not that.
No. The thing
Growing
is
up,
that-
when you sneak into the kitchen, you know, normally before you do that, you check and try to identify where anyone who will be problematic to you is. So you try to find out where your mom is, where your dad is, and of all of your siblings, you know, there is that particular Kokonsa sibling who, even if you haven't done anything, they will create something and report. So you try to see where everyone is, and then you enter the kitchen. Then you open the soup. My favorite was the bean stew. No? You open the pot, serve yourself, and then you put the cover back. You leave the kitchen. The problem becomes when, after putting the cover on the pot,
Yeah, the noise.
no, it's not the noise. You can't recall whether or not the ladder was inside the pot or it was on top of the.
That would be the only dilemma.
So there is that dilemma, and while you are trying to figure that out, you are caught in the act. That's what happened to Muftau.
So clearly,
that's what happened to
Muftau. What
Muftau.
I'm actually trying to say is that growing up in time for 27 solid years,
This one is experience.
this was his
Oh, but
This one can't be hearsay. This one is a living testimony.
It's a proper living.
There's a
testimony.
proper flashback.
And the other aspect when you are placing the lead on it, and then
No, as for that, if you are not a living legend, that's when you create that sound. The living legends, boga, because you know which parts of the ladle has the weight, right? The parts where you used to scoop. So if that side makes contact with the pot at any part of it, it will make noise, and that noise is going to be louder than the handle. Right, and sometimes if the handle is even plastic, a bokra will be empty. So those are
actually over too much. You're over too much.
Anyway, guys,
so Muftau was caught at the point where he was trying to figure out whether the ladle was inside the pot or it was on top of it.
None of them.
Oh my word, man. Anyway, guys, welcome to Game Plan. Good to have you guys. Another Friday, and so much to talk about. At least three major things having to do with the NDC manifesto. We're going to touch on that first, and we'll try and take a look at what Otto did yesterday briefly, and importantly, we have to explain to our listeners what happened yesterday also in Monaco as far as the UEFA Champions League new format is concerned. And Situ, I saw your promise to people that you explain that to them on Twitter. So
people should do Twitter space. So I say no. They should come and listen to
Game Plan.
Joyce Boy's Game Plan. This place.
Yeah, right.
So, if I lie, I should catch me. Without catch you, too catch me. If I want my space and I lie, nobody can catch me. It's my space. But this one, if I lie, everybody will catch me.
Yeah, that's good. Anyway, let's start. Just on Saturday, fair to say last week Saturday, right? The NDC released their manifesto. I'm sure just a week ago we did the NPP manifesto. We dissected it thoroughly. We did a very decent job on that. Achu, we will be back. Let's come to you for that. You just give us a little bit of what you did on Monday on Sports Zone. Then we can build on that and touch on the areas that everyone seemed to have a thought on.
So I'm just going to start by taking listeners through what they said they would, what's actually in the manifesto. So they said they will support the development of Colts, Division 1, Division 2, and Premier League clubs by augmenting salaries. So that is something very similar to what the NPP has said, but they seem to be prepared to do it for Colts, Division 1, Division 2, and the Premier League clubs as well. So they said salaries, augmenting their salaries with allowances. So that is for all registered footballers. The issue with this particular one has to be the fact that, in fact, all of them may be registered, but not all of them have contracts, particularly in Division 2 and then in Division 1. Right. So even in terms of its implementation, those are the initial issues that you will identify.
Okay.
The problem I have with it is the fact that why should someone and we discussed this last week, by virtue of being a football club owner, be eligible to taxpayers' money to run their business? As far as I'm concerned, it should not be the taxpayers' responsibility to fund the cost of running someone's business. It's as simple as that. If you do not have the means to run a football club, if you do not have the means to pay salaries and those things, then you have no business running a football club. You have no business being in football. Even in terms of having a state support, I will be open to the idea of, there are many schemes across that successive governments have rolled out for SMEs, for middle enterprises, small and medium enterprises, and all of that. And those are not limited to only agribusinesses or fintechs or whatever you call it. And so if you tell me, right, that you are going to open these schemes up, for example, for the medium enterprises, if you're a football club, the threshold for medium enterprise, one of those boxes you need to check, not necessarily the threshold, is that you need to have a staff size of, I think, about 100. If you tell me that you are going to encourage Premier League clubs to subscribe to some of these modules. Because, and I was doing the research, I realized that as recent as in July, the current government actually ruled out a program for SMEs. They called it the SME Growth and Opportunity Program. It was launched in July. And what they basically said was that it seeks to ensure targeted delivery of financial and technical support to high growth potential SMEs. High growth potential. So you just have to go there, make your case. Once you fit the criteria, there is money available to you. Now, 8.2 billion cedis has been set aside for the program. Government will support selected banks with 700 million Ghana cedis to offer SMEs highly subsidized financial support for both capital and operating expenditure, and then offer capacity building to program beneficiaries. About 10 entities, I think, on that day when President Akufo-Addo launched it, were able to access 1 million Ghana cedis.
So instead of the state paying the salaries and allowances of these, football clubs,
you could
the clubs
actually
should go and access this fund
for the medium enterprises, if there is an equivalent of that. I'm just drawing people's attention to the fact that there are schemes like that.
Okay.
Successive governments have created schemes like that for businesses. This is just one of those. This was for the SMEs, right? For the small scale enterprises. If it is that you are a football club and you categorize yourself as a medium enterprise, you have a staff size of less than 100, and you qualify, go and pitch for these things, right? So beyond telling the NDC that I don't like this idea, this is my suggestion to them. Identify some of these modules. If it says that you want our Premier League clubs to go there, identify some of these modules and encourage them to apply for these, because it doesn't only come with funding, but you also get technical and administrative supports and all of that, right? But here's the catch: you run it in a manner that you monitor what these clubs use these monies for, the same way you monitor all of these other businesses that would apply, right? To ensure that, if, for example, for those who are able to secure 1 million Ghana cedis per year or 2 million Ghana cedis per annum, you set targets for them in terms of where these monies will go to, what they will use it for. I don't think it will be prudent to just say, take this money and pay salaries. Salaries to what end, right? As we speak, if you look at the products of these clubs, it is very difficult to convince the average Ghanaian that the products of their works are so good that Ghanaians should encourage them to do more. Last week, Sicho was explaining how for the best of players that they are producing, they are not even good enough for the teams on the continent.
And I think he will do that.
They go there, so I'll leave that bit for him to expand. But basically, there is a way to access funding, right? And I'm just going to conclude on this point by saying that they may even find a way of, after a consultation with perhaps the Ghana Football Association and some of these clubs, getting them to pay a small amount back into the fund.
Yeah.
Right. So, for example, the 10% or whatever it is that the FA gets from player transfers, negotiate with them. Keep 5%, but put 5% into this fund whenever you transfer a player. Right. And that maybe the club itself, after you access it for 3 consecutive years, we expect that you would have grown to a certain level so that you are not, by virtue of being a Premier League club, eligible to that fund in perpetuity. It has to be a revolving fund that someone else is able to access it. Or you run some of these things in a manner that, the same way for the example that I just gave, you are not going to have the same companies monopolizing it. And so for the next 10 years, they can access it about 6 or 7 times out of 10 years. That doesn't really encourage growth in that space. So that's just my opinion on that bit.
All right.
Other ones.
All right, just a touch on that, so that I can let the guys also touch on the other ones.
Yes.
So let me just do this. Let me just highlight a few of the other things they spoke about. They talk about the refurbishment of pitches, tracks, and other facilities. They talk about pursuing their long-standing policy of establishing international standard stadia in all regions. They talk about establishing sports centers of excellence in the northern, middle, and southern zones in collaboration with existing universities and the private sector. They also talk about the upgrading the UEW sports college into a modern sports university. Also talk about support for retired sports personalities in pursuing other sports-related career after an active sporting life. Talk about offering scholarship to promising sports talent and invest in the establishment of sports academies. Now, you look at these promises they've put together for the 2024 election. You juxtapose that against their promises in 2012. You look at it, particularly one on they talk about the provision. He said continuation in 2012 because this promise was in their promise in 2008 under the Mills era. They mentioned that they were going to provide sports stadia to all regional capitals in 2008. Between 2008 in 2012, they repeated that promise, saying that they were going to provide sports stadia to all regional capitals. So between 2008 to 2012, that promise was consistent, and we ended up with one stadia in the central region. So all regional capitals, as they suggested, wasn't fulfilled. You also look at one where they talk about the improvement of community and institutional sports infrastructure by developing a further 20 multi-purpose courts in selected district and educational institutions across the country in partnership with corporate Ghana and donors. And this very one, I'm sure if these things were done, we would have seen them all over the country. This one is also questionable. We have not seen these facilities built. And, they also continue to talk about, the bit about, it said provision of incentives to establish at least one well-resourced sports and athletic infrastructure in district. Okay, this was very significant that they were going to provide incentives to MMDAs to, at least one well sports and athletic infrastructure in districts to enhance development of sports talent of the nation's youth. So they were basically talking about in each district there will be a sports and athletic infrastructure in each district across the country. This was a promise in 2012, and by the end of 2016, we can look across the various districts and see whether these facilities were provided. And many other districts, they were not provided. So there were a few promises in 2012 that were fulfilled, and some of them have also resurfaced in 2024, where especially relative to the provision of stadia, etc., is consistent. 2008 it was there, 2012 it was there, and they've repeated in 2024 that they want to continue with that very plan. Now, Sicho, let me come to you. I saw your concern.
Let me just finish.
Okay, just finish. So that let me give you 2 minutes to finish that. Then I'll come to Sicho.
Yeah. On the issue of developing lesser funded sports. Just tell us. It is not enough to tell people that this is my commitment. You have been guilty of failing it in the past. My expectation was that, and especially having monitored the narrative, because that is what I expected. Because this is your game. You are running for election. So the main threat to your ambition is the current government. So when there is a reaction to the manifesto they put out, at the very least, you would have paid attention and noticed some of the salient points that people may have come up with. I was thinking that after the reaction to the NPPs, we would have had something better, particularly with the issue of anything that has to do with funding. Right? So when you say that you will have money and you will pay, when you say you will pay attention, equal attention, or it is not just because you will attend to them. You will attend to their needs because you have money to give them. Right? Look, all of these fanciful words we're throwing about, all of these, forget it. It is money. Having money will determine how much support you can give to boxing. Having money will determine how much support you can give to athletics. Having money will determine how much support you can give to tennis. Right? And so we need to see them tell us that this is our plan. This is how we are going to raise revenue to fund sport in this country. It is not enough to say that you are going to be committed and you are not going to have what we are used to these days, the Black Stars or football sports minister or a football sports ministry. That beyond your words, this is your plan. We can disagree on the plan, but there needs to be something that you are telling us, right? That this is your solution. You can't just say, I'm going to fix it. Fix it how? And how much even is enough to run sport in a year? How much even is enough for boxing in a year? How much even is enough to fund 5 or 6 elite athletes? right? Who essentially will be getting ready for the Diamond League, all of these major meets that require money for.
Do we even register our athletes for major meets? We don't.
But that is because you don't have the money, and so you pretend you don't care. You pretend you don't know, right? Look, the guys at the Ghana Athletics, Ghana Olympic Committee, the sports ministry, they know their job. But when it is time for these athletes to go and camp and prepare for these major meets or to register for these and enter for these games, it is not that they forget their job or they are so wicked that they don't care, because in the end they will only talk to you. Famikono eniho, the money to facilitate that process of someone, that money isn't there. So my expectation is that, and hopefully to the two parties going forward, you will move beyond just the promise on its own, because it's only your intention, but how you will make this work, how you intend to execute this, because I'm sure the people in the boxing space are listening. I'm sure those in the past year, there were a lot of Ghanaians who were telling us that we are wasting money on the boxing team when they went for these Olympic qualifiers, when they went to Senegal, when they went to all of these places, and they were not qualifying. People started complaining that there is not enough money to go around. So why are we wasting money on one team alone, giving them multiple opportunities to qualify for the Olympic Games? In the end, not a single one of them qualified. Even if you are a boxing lover, you will agree with them that this is not judicious use of resources. So I think the conversation needs to move from just the idea that we are going to do this. We are going to, for years, we've had the issue of funding or supporting lesser known sports. But no progress has been made because no one has been bold enough to throw an idea into the mix, play with it, see under what circumstances it can work, how much money they can make, to then be in the position to say, because I have $5 million, right, for developmental stuff every year, half of this is going to football, or a quarter of it is going to football, or whatever. So for me, money is a central theme to everything that we have heard from both sets of parties as far as their plans for sports is concerned.
I mean, at the Congress, the FA president, took the opportunity to make a plea. I'm not sure if it's a plea, but put across where they believe the football community needs. He talks about some tax incentives that they are looking to get, tax incentive for corporate bodies that will be supporting the league. It seems to reflect what the MPP had in their manifesto. He even called for a dedicated funding for sports. That's missing in the NDC manifesto. Not sure if they have it somewhere, but it's not in the document we've seen out there. But Sicho, let me come to you. You've had a concern about the payment of the salaries of the salaries of.
He has concerns, plenty, not just one.
Concerns, but there's also something he mentioned that there was one particular thing in the manifesto he was happy about.
Yeah. My first concern is, Addo mentioned it, that when you tell us that you're going to pay clubs, the players that they've employed, the players that have become their responsibility, when you tell us you're going to pay the clubs the salaries of these players, why would you do that? Right? Because the point is, for me, Ghana for some time haven't benefited from the players who play in the Ghana Premier League. We don't get any benefit from them. We don't get any benefit from these teams or these club owners who run clubs in Ghana. The simple benefits we should be getting is that when they go around the country to scout these young talents, they are able to feed our under 17 to do well at that level. They migrate to under 20 to do well at that level. Then when they play in the Ghana Premier League and then they are exported, or even in between 17 and 20 when they are exported, when they come back to play for the national team, they are doing well. When you look across our national team in the last 10 years or the last 5 years, how many players have gone through the Ghana Premier League? So the club owners, what really are they doing, right, to help the growth of the sports in Ghana? So we can't simply throw money at them. We can't simply give them money to players who in the end, when they go to Libya, they even sit on the bench in Libya. Where the players who are our best players in Ghana, when they go to Morocco, they don't even wear jersey. They come back. Kwampoku was playing for Kotoko. He was scoring. He was doing like this. When he went to Algeria, he came back. Right now, where is he? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Right. Our man who went to South Africa. I say here no. The striker Soa, was it no? Oh, strikers.
Jonathan Soa.
Yeah. They go to South Africa some way. We saw with Kobna.
Joseph
Esso. They are ballers when they are in the Ghana Premier League. When they leave here, they are not good enough.
Yeah.
So my simple thing is, the clubs in Ghana are sleeping. when you look across our under 17, there's a reason why we are not performing. They are all local boys, and they've not been trained well, they've not been groomed well. The talent is there, yes, but they don't invest enough in refining these talents. Look, what stops them? You see, in our club saying, I know that sports, there's football people are listening, they will say something, but look, let me say it. What stops our clubs in Ghana? We're here a couple of months ago, and Accra Lions brought some partnership with Lothar Matthäus and co. So as we speak, Fabrizio Romano has announced that
Odro
is going to Barcelona. Because they've put together a proposal. They formed a partnership with an international body that can export some of their players and their talents. Has then day every day Southampton and something, nothing. Just listening, nothing. See, what stops? No, you're in this country.
Yeah.
The world is seeing Kudus. The world is seeing Nyama. The world is seeing Kamaldeen. The world is seeing Moomin. The world is seeing all these right to dream players. It quite clearly tells us that the talents are plenty here. Osman, the talents are plenty here. What stops these clubs of ours of putting proper proposals together, flying out of the country to go and form alliances with clubs in other countries, so that with funding they can invest in your clubs, you groom the talents and they come for them, you can become their right to dream in Ghana. They are always in the country, they're not doing anything, they're not adding value to our players, and we need to start having that conversation, and we need to start questioning the football people. They are killing our talents. Because Charlie, in the last 5 years or so, under 17 don't they play anything, and when they go to after 17 you don't hear from them, after 20 you don't hear from them, and at 23 some way. And the national team are made of Inaki Williams and Tariq Lamptey, and players who didn't go through the Ghana Premier League. Unless I must say, it's the fact. So they need to be up and do. We can't just stand up and say NDC and BP say they will pay salaries. Pay salaries of who?
And to be fair, some of the players take good money. Some of the players that hard to focus on good money. I know players at Summertex who take really good money.
They take some very good money.
Very good money.
So it is not throwing money at these clubs that solves the problem. No, they need to do more. In Africa, West Africa, you are selling a region. You always sell. So sell well. Look, if Kudus play for any of our Ghana Premier League teams, like the West Ham.
No, so relax, Sicho. Should they rather be giving the money to the academies? Because the last Black Stars call up, we had as many as 6 players from Right to Dream Academy.
It's better for Ghana to invest in Right to Dreams. Oh yes. No.
Right to Dream, they are directly transferring money.
No, it's
transferring players for good money.
Yeah. It is better for Ghana to invest in Right to Dreams than to pay salaries to the club owners who are not working. They are not working. All they are doing is 3 points on the pitch, and people are also saying that they are betting with the games. That's what people are saying. So they are not working.
At least you can cite McDan, who's
senior man McDan. Good afternoon, wherever you are. You said it. They are not working. Charlie, they have to work. They have to. Those days, Liberty will give us 3-4 players quick. They go to under 17. From there, no, they are going to Panathinaikos. They are going to Udinese. They are going to these days. If we go to our youth tournaments, Toku and Co, where are they?
In fact, even go to
Eric Year
and winning.
We had Sheila Alassan from Kotoko, who came into the place of Serko for. There was another, is it Yusuf something?
No, there was Habib Mohammed.
Who came into play in place of Emmanuel Adokwe Papo.
So, bottom line, our club owners in this country.
Were those clubs paid? Was government paying the salaries of those players?
See, the bottom line is the clubs in Ghana, they are not working. They are killing our talents. The talents we have plenty. They are killing them. They are not working. That is why all our youth teams are not doing well. And that is why we have to always go and beg Edin Ketia. We have to see if we can convince Kobe Menu. We have to see if Inaki Williams go fit come anyway. We go turn him into Ghanaian. The guy is Spanish, is not Ghanaian. That's why he's struggling. He won't settle easily. Look at our national team. Abba from Guanebo. We went. College Dafa was wearing an Amasa. College Dafa. When in our history would he have had any place in our national team? But because the people who are running football in the country, they are not working. Look, only one academy is working, and they are feeding us with our best players in the team. Our best players are from Right to Dreams. So now we beg them to find a goalkeeper for us. Right to Dream, we beg you, wherever you are. Just dedicate the next year to train the and a left back, because we don't have a left back, we don't have a goalkeeper. So Right to Dream, we beg you, you have saving a national team. It's the truth. Take all the Right to Dream products out of the national team. You don't have a team. So they are not working. We can't even transfer players from our league to Charlie some way. So as for that money that the NDC and the MPP are saying they will pay, they should have another discussion. After that,
the university.
For me, the other question for me, the other manifesto point, that for me is the genesis of the solution to the problems we have in this country, has got to be the thing that in James manifesto, the NDC's manifesto, they said that they would improve
the Winneba
Sports College into a university. That's manifesto point.
Yeah.
For me, it's, you see, what we also lack in this country is at times the lack of know-how. Like we across the sporting, we don't have many administrators. We really have people who have been around the game long enough to consider themselves experienced. But when it comes to the know-how, the real knowledge, the real education to go with it, we don't have a lot of it.
Time relevant knowledge.
Yes, we don't have it, right? So if they are able to upgrade that Winneba College into a university that runs proper sporting programs, that can educate coaches, train sports administrators, train sports psychologists, train physios, listen, everything sports, that for me, Musbah, will be the look, when Nkrumah was starting doing these things, Nkrumah, he wasn't throwing money away. We had a plan. Oh. Look, when we won the AFCON, the 4 that we won, a lot of the products came from that project.
Yeah.
It wasn't an accident.
In fact, your two coaches had been sent to Germany and Brazil.
Yes, it came from, see, it wasn't an accident. So it is that manifesto that for me, that point, if they are true to it, and they can see through it, we might not reap the benefits 1 year, 2 years, but give it 5 years, 6 years. When you've had, after 4 years, we've had some people graduating from it, people training on it, and give yourself some 10 years and look at the quality, because they'll be training athletes as well. And in that university, we might not need to now send athletes to American university.
Yeah.
Because after a while, if the coaches are good enough to train people here, all our athletes can come and camp here and fly straight to compete in the Diamond Leagues and the Olympics.
Not to interrupt you, even the current collegiate system, the scheduling, their calendar conflicts with the international calendar.
Yes.
So they prepare their athletes to peak at the time they will have their NCAA championships.
Yes.
That creates a conflict, because for the professional athletes, your season is going to start 3 or 4 months after the NCAA championships. So in fact, Letile Tebogo had to decide that for his last year in school.
Oh, he dumped all the scholarships.
He had the scholarship.
Yeah.
He had the chance to go through the same line that Deborah and all of these athletes, but because he also had sponsorship, he ditched that scholarship, went pro, did his own thing, and now he
stayed in Botswana, and then he trained, and he's an Olympic gold medalist. So I'm saying that if you have that university, we don't even need to always be crying and sending our athletes to the scholarship. We don't need, because when you've trained the people to train the people that are in the states that can train these athletes, if we train our own people, and over time they have the experience, and we're inviting these people in the USA to come and lecture, to come and even employ some of them,
and
to
you
work
have the
in our
internationally certified facilities here.
Charlie, that is for me. That for me is the start. It is the start to some of the problems we have in this country. I hope it's not just talk. And even the MPP, if they are listening, if they win power and Muhammad doesn't win it, this idea, it is not politics. It is good for all of us. They should steal it. Like they should do it.
And talking about the University for Sports, if you look, the sports minister in the construction, I'm sure you're more familiar with this, the construction of the Boteman.
I have no idea why they've ditched that idea.
No, in fact, at the Congress, he reiterated it, that it's part of their plans. And beyond the facilities they've built at Boteman, they even have an administration block.
Yeah, there's an administration block.
And they said they want to turn the entire thing into a university.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
So I think that there's a certain sense
it
that
has to be done.
There's a certain sense that the two parties have realized there's a need for that.
It's a good thing.
One want to refurbish.
There's Winneba. One want to continue.
Charlie, what is
either way, do it.
Yeah.
Whether it's Winneba or it's Boteman.
If we have to, it's not a crime.
See, we need it. And then finally, the other sports of excellence
resource centers
that they want to look. They said before that they said they want to build
stadia.
The stadia, the international stadia across the other regions.
Yeah.
I like the wording of that because it defeated our conversation about that. It's been a promise. You see, what they said was that it's a long-standing promise, which means it's still something that they had planned. They've not been able to do, and they will still want to do, but Omache, Beno Krande should ditch it. We don't need these number of international stadiums in this country. We don't.
Especially not in every region.
In a country like Ghana, if we have 2 world-class stadia, we are okay. The rest should be what the NDC were trying, the MPP were trying to do. Nanado was trying to do with the youth resource centers. It is cool. Those things are cool. So when you tell us you will build 10 something, you don't need. When you come to power, you have to give us the answers as to why those things were not completed, and then find money and complete it. Because they started something very nice. The space is there, the infrastructure is there, they've not finished. You have to investigate why they've not finished, and then you finish it so that government can see some level of continuity. You can't abandon projects, then it will rot. Then you go and start another one somewhere. And see, so we don't need that.
This government has spent over 123 million Ghana cedis on those facilities.
So you need to investigate why they couldn't finish it, and then you complete it, because the framework is there and they are beautiful. They will serve very good purpose for all of us. So for me, I like some of the things they said in the manifesto. Some of them, if they pay attention to them, it can be the very start of what we need to do in solving the many problems that we have in this country. And so they shouldn't come and do more. But for paying the clubs, they should put it somewhere. And then let's focus on the things that benefit the whole country.
I don't think paying the players is actually the right thing to go. It's just someone has set up a business, the person cannot pay salaries, and government says that you want to use the taxpayers' money to pay the person's salaries. I'm wondering how much the state makes at the end of the year, when in fact, let me just cite the former minority leader of parliament, Aruna Hidisu, when he sold Fatah Isago for 1.2 million euros to Sporting Lisbon. I'm wondering how much of that money went to the government's kitty. And you're telling me that
even the
Addo. Plenty. Now he's going to Leicester. He's going to make like 8 million pounds or something. How much of that is going into government's kitty? And now you're telling me that government will take over the responsibility of augmenting the salaries of players.
You know my fear.
Steadfast and now he has Kerala United as well.
You know my fear. For some of the clubs you mentioned, they are well paid. For some clubs, they don't pay the players. 3 months, they owe the players. Some of them are paying the players 800 cedis, some of them are paying 1,000. If government decides to pay these players even 800 cedis, that will, for many clubs and players, become the only salary they will receive at the end of the month. So how do you make sure that the clubs are doing their responsibility, and what you are doing is a support? If you are not careful, what you are doing is not a support. It becomes the main salary to the players.
Yeah.
You get it?
And they'll say, Charlie, what they wait to later.
They don't make us answer about it.
They are buying
But I think one thing some of the questions we need to ask is the data the NDC had before arriving at some of these suggestions. So, for instance, how many registered players do we have, and how many of them are under contracts? And how much do you foresee that you are likely to spend on these players? Let's say do you have a budget of 1 million, 2 million, 3 million? Have you already put together these figures for, say, a year or even half a year? And it is sustainable for you to be able to do. When you have answers to some of these questions and you know where you have the money to be able to sort them out, then it wouldn't be a big deal. But I am of the opinion that create an environment where the clubs are able to pay their players, and not for you to dip your hand into taxpayers' money and pay them. So, for instance, the clubs are asking for tax incentives, right? Even if you're not going to give them 100%,
see inside for them.
You can look inside it. Yeah. Just give them a percentage of the tax incentive. Some of these things would actually help. Now, they're telling us that, or just a quick one on some of the promises that we repeated. I see them as a commitment to wanting to execute. Just as I mentioned last week. When the MPP made a promise in 2016, they couldn't fulfill in 2020. Now they've brought it back in 2024. I see that as a commitment that these are things we want to do, and when we have the opportunity, we want to do them. So I believe that some of the things the NDC promised to do in 2012, and they could not execute them in 2016, they are bringing them back in 2024. Clearly suggests that there's a certain level of commitment that when we have power, these are things we have at the back of our minds and we want to do. So that is a plus. But I go to the angle of where Sicho says that we do not need stadia across the country. How many facilities or stadia do you need to hold the African Cup of Nations? Right?
These days you need
Like 8. 8.
Yeah, because they've expanded.
Because they've expanded it. Like 8, right? You want to build stadia across the country. Anytime Real Tamale United or any team is not playing Premier League football at the Ali Muhammad Stadium, it becomes a white elephant. What has become of a stipend because Hazakes did not qualify to play Premier League, 11-wise.
Yeah.
So are you actually suggesting that you want to build stadia across the country? International standard, that's what they say.
which is
Across the
minimum
country?
20k. These days, international standard means minimum 20k.
Is it a priority, actually? Is it a priority that we should have a stadium in every single region? Is it a priority? Is it something that we need?
Is there a need?
Is there a
No,
need
we
for
don't.
it?
We don't.
He mentioned the construction of the youth resource centers. Why not put these things in good shape? Have the track certified. Have the pitches in good condition. You and I can go out there and play football and hone our talent. Races that are run on these tracks, if they are certified, their times will be recognized. The districts can use these facilities to organize their inter-school events. Why would you want to go and build a big stadium with 20,000, 15,000 capacity? What for? To serve what purpose? If there's no Premier League team there, for instance, from Wale Wale, those of us who are from that area, you're coming to build a stadium in Alergo for us because that is our capital, right? Not East. We don't have a team that's going to play in Premier League.
Even if
We don't have a team that's going to play in Division 1.
Can serve a
In
purpose.
fact,
serve that
recently, we have a team that recently qualified to play in the Division 1. Wale Wale Catholic Stars. The AstroTurf that Bawumia built in Alergo, it can serve that purpose. So why would you want to go and build a 20,000 capacity stadium? Is there a need? The people over there are suffering. We need things, better things. You want to come and give us a
Water.
stadium?
Let's
We
use
need
the
water. We don't get water.
Electricity, street
Just to
lights.
tell you, I personally contributed to having a borehole dug for my former school through an NGO because in my community, water is one of the major challenges. So apart from the furniture that I was working on, where about 200 kids can now have furniture to sit on, I also made sure that the school has a borehole dug by an NGO. My community, we don't have these. Light cry is a problem. The school doesn't have light. It's something we are working on. And now you're coming to tell me you want to build a stadium for us. Is it a priority?
Mufti, let's just.
In fact, on
guys,
the issue of the Premier League clubs and their needs,
Addo, just before
I just want to add to this. How has it slipped under the radar the highway robberies and accidents our clubs have been involved late at night when returning from games?
Whenever they say they'll give them buses, so say the buses, fresh buses, they don't.
fresh buses.
But the accidents and those robberies that our clubs encountered were all because they happened in darkness. The Kotoko incident, it happened in an area so dark that even the reflectors could only be seen when you get close range, by which time it was too late.
Well, anyway, guys, so let's just take this quick commercial, and when we come back, we will try and deal with other issues. There's a very important conversation about the UEFA and Black Stars to be had. So let's do this commercial, and we'll come back. But we want to hear from you on the NDC manifesto. 055 11 997 055 11 997. So we want to hear from you. Send us your message right now. When we come back, I also tell you about the Habitat Fair that is coming your way, and tell you about the Showbiz Roundtable. Very important conversations that are coming your way here on your Superstation. So send us your message. Send us your message. We want to hear from you right now. 7 FM, you're still listening to Game Plan. My name is Razak Musbah. I see some of you have sent your messages. We'll be reading it very shortly now. This one says, Ni Tojo from Tema Newtown. Government commitment in sports is on a very low key. They say they are just playing lip service, he says there, but expecting better and improved results, he says. Well, lip service is, he says, government is saying. This one said, to add to what Achu mentioned about SMEs, when the government launched the 1D1F program, I mentioned to the GFA to draw a program model that falls in line with the government objectives, because the line of business, though not the same, football clubs offer some amount of business that is capable of bringing direct foreign investment into the economy. There are several of such programs like the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, the NYEP, etc. All these are youth-centered programs that fits into the concept of football club management. Seidu Adamu with that message all the way from the US. And I think it's brilliant stuff he's made there. And it buttresses the point that Sicho is making. Relax.
Yes,
Wait.
I want to read something small for you.
One full after the other.
One
Let
after
me be
the other.
first fool.
Let me be the first. You spoke first. The Winneba Sports College that Sicho was talking about.
Yeah.
I just want to share with you a brief vision of what some people put together, right, about that Winneba Sports College.
Can I just clear these messages so that we just so that I come to you guys?
Okay.
With your daughters. All right. So that's the message from Adamu. Okay, guys, can you give me the next message? I don't know. I'm not able to do that here. Okay. So we'll try and get some more of the message for you.
Okay. But as you are struggling to get your messages,
my messages are coming, but also very important that the political atmosphere is getting charged up. And
we are also charged up here
as the general election draws closer. But with which political party has the best plan for also the entertainment industry? The answer to this and more will be provided at the 5th edition of Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. And on this edition, the manifesto debate on creative economy, we are offering a platform for political parties to present their policy ideas on Ghana's tourism. And the program will air on Joy FM, Joy Prime, on September 14, 2024, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. We've got Baba Sadiq, and we also have Rex Usumafo, who are all representing the NDC, and also for the MPP, we have the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Marco Krikumante, and the CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Kwesi Ajaman, joining. Kwame Dazi and Philip Nye are all behind this very initiative to be on the Showbiz A to Z. So it's very important. And also remember that the Habitat Fair, the Joy FM Habitat Fair, is also coming on. So let go of the overpriced land, home ownership and furnishing deals. Get the best deals for all your housing needs at one place. Visit the EcoBank Journeys Mini Fair at the Good Park near Accra Mall from the 13th of September to 15th September 2024. The fair is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, and admission is free. Be there to engage with various stakeholders in the housing value chain for your home ownership needs. EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. Get a house and make it a home. Now, the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and powered by the Planned City Extension Project from Cities and Habitat. Rent to own, and is also sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value, safety, and home solutions. You think of Addo, we have a G&J Technical Services, G&J, the Generator People, Def Tracker Woodlands, a master plan, gated city, DPS pipes connecting you to life, home world building supplies. Let's build together. Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting. Super Lock, you deserve the best. Everlast UPVC windows and doors. The right choice for windows and doors. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough, less fortune, limited curtains. Papa, be luxuriously perfect. Build free solar hybrid air conditioning, superior cooling with energy DBS roofing industry. Your roof expert, virtual security, complete security solution, and also your bench security doors protecting lives and properties. Clifton Homes, beautiful homes wise investment, and of course Tino Solutions, the renewable energy expert. EcoBank, Johnny's Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home, and remember, it's at the Good Park near Accra Mall from the 13th to the 15th of September 2024, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Someone says, talking about football talent in Ghana, there was small boy who came to Kotoko about 4 or 3 years ago who caused a lot of attention from the media and fans.
The guy who go Scotland, what's his name? This guy
Matthew Enim Kujo.
Enim Kujo. Went to Dundee.
Yeah.
Right now.
He left there.
Yeah.
Not sure where he is now.
Somewhere
In player that.
Yeah, he must be a free agent.
Yeah, must be
Charlie, tomorrow,
3-4 years ago, probably, or maybe there could also be Isaac Opono. There was.
Remember Isaac is at Petro Cup.
Isaac Opon was there like 2 years ago.
2-3 years
Petro
ago.
Cup now.
Yeah.
No, Isaac Opon left Kotoko.
He's
Yeah.
left.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's at
Yeah,
Petro
just
Cup
this
now.
season. Yeah.
He's gone to Petro Cup.
Yeah. But he was with them when they won the Ghana Premier League.
There's no Petro Cup.
Yeah.
But also, guys, remember that
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
MGL radio platforms are back on tuning. So your favorite radio stations, they are there: Joy FM, Live FM, Addo FM, Sempe FM, Share FM. So all your beloved multimedia group brands are now back on tuning. Where you are, wherever you are, you've got covered. Joy FM, Love FM, Sempe FM, Share FM. They're all back on tuning. So tune into the best of news, music, sports, entertainment from Ghana top stations, anytime, anywhere on tuning. You just need to go to the App Store or Google Play Store to download TuneIn and listen to Joy FM and Sempe FM, Addo FM, and Share FM to stay connected and entertained. So wherever you are across the world, get your tuning up and you can listen to Game Plan on Joy FM and hit 103.9 FM every now and then. Okay, so you want to make what?
Yeah, I was going through some plans that have been put together by some
let
people.
Me read this. They say if you look at all these manifestos that are being bandied around, none of the parties did any proper assessment to know exactly what's needed. They just putting these around for votes because in the end no one will hold them accountable. Otherwise, how can you say you use public funds to pay salaries for someone's private business? Kofi Edu, Kisi Edu, Agboba. Okay, you wanted to talk about
about the University Sports College thing,
so
where some people have put together a very brilliant document on it.
Please do that in some 2 minutes. Then please get ready.
Even 2 minutes have plenty.
I want to get your take on the Black Star squad, and I'm sure you listen closely to Addo and what we should expect come next week Thursday. Yeah.
So one of the things that a group of people have actually put together that can actually it sits into our conversation so nicely is a point where Sicho was making, that this Winneba Sports College is actually an institution that can be the source or the major solution to all the challenges we have in this country. So for instance, they say that they want to turn the Winneba Sports College into a center of excellence for sports education, training and research, fostering talent development and promoting a culture of sports and physical activity across Ghana and Africa. And they say that they want to collaborate with universities to design and introduce specialized courses in areas such as sports psychology, nutrition, physiotherapy, leadership, governance, coaching, performance, and sports analysis, right? And sports analytics. They also say that they want to pursue national and international accreditation to host a new diploma and certificate courses. We are in a country where we've got people who do not even know that sports administration is a course on its own you need to study. Sports marketing, in fact, I don't know how many schools in Ghana actually have courses for sports marketing. I don't know. Whether they have courses for coaching education, apart from what the Ghana Football Association organizes. How to train an athlete, how to train a footballer. Some of these things, if we actually build the Winneba Sports College into this institution that people are looking at, it would actually be the genesis of providing the solution to all the challenges we are facing in this country.
Amazing.
In terms of sports.
Great. Achu, let me come to you. Yesterday, Otto, announced his squad. His few returns. Inaki Williams returned. Joseph Pinto returned. The day are you still out? Has he gotten a club yet, though?
No.
Okay. We'll see.
I think the quietness, the silence, or the lack of rancor yesterday after the announcement just was Ghanaians' way of saying, yeah, he got about everything spot on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because in the past, we're very vocal. We're very expressive people, and so when a decision is not consistent with what we expect it to be, we will voice it out. And I think that by and large, the silence yesterday was an approval of what Otto did. I was impressed. I am impressed with how he's handled the Andre Ayew situation. Communicated it very well, and I think after his answer yesterday, there really was nothing else to talk about regarding. It's simple. He's futuristic. He's forward thinking. He's looking into the future, and he says he favors younger players. He knows there are going to be difficult times. He says there are going to be difficult games. He says the players he has trusted are going to have difficult moments, but this is his decision that he's building a team for the future, and in this moment, these are the guys to go with. And what really is the argument for including Andre in this team? If you look at how Ghana have played in his absence, how Ghana played even when he was with the team, and his own performances in the past 2 years as captain, there's not a lot of value in keeping him around and all of that. And this is perhaps the best way of handling it. So for me, I was impressed. He scored full marks with the Andre Ayew situation. He communicated in a manner that was very clear, showed a lot of respect to the player, also did not leave anyone confused about what his intentions are long term. This isn't one of those cases of if he gets, yes, he also did say that if he gets a club and he's scoring 20 goals, he will invite him. But the summary of everything he said was that he's moving on, and he's moving on with this team. He knows there will be difficult times, and that sort of honesty is, if people are fair to Otto, they will remember the fact that he has said this is not a finished team yet. He has said they are going to have difficult times. So, and it is true, we are going to have games where the team will not play well. We are going to have games where the players who have been favored over Andre will put in performances or behavior or conduct that will leave you questioning the appreciation of what the national team means. It doesn't mean that he's made the wrong decision. He's just saying, I am aware these things will happen. And we also have to be fair and honest to admit that Andre did not hit the ground running from day one and get every decision right. So in terms of his conduct, in terms of his performances, he's had his issues with Kwesi Appiah. He's had his issues with other captains and all of that. Otto is just saying, give the same trust and faith and patience and benefit of the doubt to the young players that we have. Allow them to go through the cycle, make the mistakes and learn on the job. Eventually, we will come out better. I like that. One of the issues I have had with our options is that just 2 years ago, we seemed to be very excited about midfield options and how Daniel Kofi-Tre, Ashimiri Majid and all of these young players coming through would have improved our midfield options. Unfortunately, the lack of form and the stagnation of players like Salis Abdul Samed, Elisha Osu have meant that while they can still do a decent job for the team, you don't look at that midfield and say, this is our known best combination and that this tactical context. Rather, you can say that Thomas Partey is the best midfielder in the team or he's about the best player in the team. Beyond that, there is not a lot to be excited about in terms of our midfield options. And it is not as if there are some great midfielders out there who were not called into this team.
Yeah.
Even for someone like Augustin Boache, in the future, I would like to see him in this team. But that's as far as he can go, right? I mean, he doesn't dislodge anyone in this team. But I would like to see him in the future because he is very unique in his set of skills that he has. Of all of the left-footed forwards we have who we believe should be able to do a job in midfield, perhaps a bit further up the pitch, he's the only one who can pick a pass. He's the only one who can slow things down and allow the team to breathe. He's the only one who occurs to naturally, who can see that space and then play that ball. He's very different from what Mohamed Kudus is. And so in the future, if it is that you need someone in the middle of the park but a bit further up the pitch to execute that task, he's someone that you can look at.
Great. So the game is going to be first game against Angola
Yeah.
at Barra Sports Stadium
On Thursday.
Then they travel away to
Morocco.
Morocco. That's what,
Morocco
for
4
the game
days later
against
because Niger don't have any CAF approved facility.
Great.
Kululu, you put a thing to. You don't get what you get.
Kululu say.
Kululu,
Anyway,
you guys
do
stay
you do Kululu on our behalf?
Come on, Mudia. Anyway, Charlie host. What's up?
Anyway, yesterday also, of course. You know, I was saying that was the only way they could get him to Monaco and come back.
What they can do?
Yeah, man, award na on back.
No, but he's Champions League. See, he Champions League as you see it.
Yeah.
The old era that has gone, they are bringing a new era. The old era was all about him. So now they are saying goodbye to the old era to usher in a new era. He was the perfect man to come and close the deal. 140 goals, most assists, most away goals, most headed goals, most left foot, most everything good.
Yeah.
Including the titles.
Bro, that one check like Cruz then pass on by one.
Yeah, Cruz and Modric, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that hard guys.
So
What about
deserved,
most own goals?
But to break it down,
Yeah.
though, 36 teams playing in what they call the league phase, then they will go to the knockout phase, and for the teams that will qualify in the knockout phase, first to 8, and there's some teams that will play playoffs. Why, first of all, do they have 36 teams? And what is this league phase all about?
Right. So look, football clubs always want more money. And I remember those days when Champions League was all about the knockouts. Once they start, you play, you lose, you're out. And there was a time where some of the big teams were getting kicked out very early. There was a time where I think Napoli, at the time they were very good, were kicked out. There was a time where AC Milan were just... So the big clubs were like, no, this is not the competition you want. You can't have the big teams leaving early because it affects money. It affects fans coming to the stadium. It affects commercials. So hence, they created the group stage phase where the big clubs will at least play 6 times. Will at least play the whole group phase and then go to the knockout stage. So that's why we saw the old formats emerging. And it's been very successful. Right now, somewhere around 2019, there was a conversation about abolishing the group phase and having 3-league system, where in the 3-league system, some clubs were going to be permanent members in the league system. Clubs like Man United, clubs like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, per history.
No, and Chelsea.
I think Chelsea was part as well, per history. Now, there was a massive pushback to that in 2019. So after that pushback was when Real Madrid, Juventus got angry and said, Barcelona got angry and said, okay, we're going to form the Super League. Now, the idea of the Super League was that when you create the league and you've got more big teams meeting often, it raises the commercial value for TV, and it raises the amount of money you can charge for tickets and merchandise, and so there is more money coming in. Again, there was a pushback to the Super League. Then UEFA realizes that, well, it's only a matter of time before a lot of the clubs begin to start agreeing with that module because it's more money. So UEFA now have somewhat come to, I think it's something that looks like a compromise, to getting the same idea and then UEFA owning it. So the reason why you have 36 teams is that it gives you more games. More games means that the broadcasters are going to pay more money. And then the new format, in the, as we call the Swiss format, is such that big teams will meet themselves often. And in some way, somehow, I think he also guarantees sometimes the big teams still stay in the competition into the final stage. So how is the format like? The format is, we are done with the group stage where we had 8 groups of 4 teams. You play home and away against each other. It's a round robin in that group. The top 2 automatically qualifies to the next stage, and the third place team goes to the Europa League. And the Europa League have the same thing, and they drop to conferences. So there was that. Now we are done with that. What they are doing now is all the 36 teams were grouped into pots. So there is the pot A, the pot B, C, and D. Now it's based on rankings, right? So pot A obviously contains the big teams. In comes pots B, C, and then D in that order. Now every team in that 36 team category in the Champions League will play 8 games. Now in these 8 games, you play two teams from pot A, 2 teams from pot B, 2 teams from pot C, and then 2 teams from pot D. That gives you your 8 teams, right? Now this is what's going to happen. In those 8 games that you are going to play, unlike last season where you play 1 team home and away, this time, in those 8 games you are going to play, you are going to be playing 4 of them at home and 4 of them away from home. So it's not going to be, so if you have a fixture like Real Madrid, Man City in the league phase, it's not going to be 1 game at the Bernabeu or 1 game at 1 game at the Etihad. No, it's going to be either a game at the Bernabeu or that game is going to be at the Etihad, depending upon how the draw goes. So 4 home games, 4 away games. Every team in the 36 team will play 8 games. After these 8 games, so while you play the game, your points that you accumulate is going to be on a league table. So after the 8 games, we are going to see the rankings on the table from 1 to 36. That is where the separation comes. Now, the first team to the 8th team on that league table automatically qualify to the next stage, which is the last 16. Then teams that are placing 9th to 24th, they are going to play a round off. Now, that is going to be done in a way that, again, like I said, the big teams are likely to go through. So what is going to happen is the team that is finishing 9th is going to play against the team that is finishing 24th. The team that is finishing 10th is going to play against the team that is finishing 21st. And in that order, 11th will play against the team that finished 20th. Up to the point where we'll have the middle teams meeting, right? So they will play the playoffs, and the playoffs are going to be home and away. Now, when that playoff is done, we'll have 8 more teams qualifying from the playoffs. Then they will go and play the teams that placed 1st to 8th in the league format in the round of 16th. Now, teams that placed between 25th to 36th, they would go home, like they are out of the competition. Note that it was said that some teams would drop to the Europa League. No. In this new format, no, there's no drop down to the Europa League. Europa League is Europa League.
United chop 36.
36, no, they are back to England. United are back to England.
Just that they are playing Europa.
There's no lungu for them. So if they go chop 36 for Europa League, there's no conference league for them. So the Europa League will follow the same format as well. So that is how it's going to happen. So just keep in mind that every team is playing 8 games. These games are going to be point accumulations. At the end of the 8 games, first to 8th qualify automatically to the next round, which is the round of 16th. From the 9th to 24th, we'll play a playoffs, and the winners of the playoffs will go advance to go and play the last 16 against the top 8 teams. From 25th to 36th, they go home and they're out of the competition.
Yeah.
The same thing happens to the Europa League. But in the Conference League, instead of the 8 games in the league, they are playing 6 games. Right? So that is where the difference is. So if you see the draw and how the computerized system was done, there are more big games in the league phase that we would have had in the group stage.
Yeah.
Because Real Madrid, who are in pot 1 or pot A, are still going to play 2 teams from pot A, 2 teams from pot B, 2 teams from C, and then 2 from D. So somebody in pot D will also play 2 teams from A, B, C, and D. So that is the new format. I mean, not many people liked it, but from the way the draw was done and the fixture that have been thrown up, I think the format could work. And that means more money for the clubs, more money perhaps for the players, and then more games on TV.
People don't like it because we don't like evolution. We don't like to change.
We've
We've come so accustomed to the group stage.
You know, there was this guy who was taking them to court. That's this format. He's the one who drew the format. He said he was pitching it to UEFA for a very long time, and UEFA were not minding him. No, the Swiss format is used very much for chess. Right? When you go to chess competition, there are 100 people. So you use the Swiss format, you play it in the league. But what happens to the Swiss format in chess is that when you win your game, your next every round, every game that you win, you play against a winner.
Yeah.
So fixtures always draw up new fixtures. You can't do that in football. So what football did was, okay, you have a fixed 8 teams that you play. They get into the group, then we'll see how you progress and all of that. So yeah, that is the new Champions League format.
So we're going to look forward to it. In the league phase, you're going to have games like Man City versus Inter Milan, Man City versus PSG, Man City versus Juve. You're going to see Liverpool versus Real Madrid, Liverpool versus AC Milan. You know, you're going to see Arsenal versus PSG, Arsenal versus Inter, Arsenal versus Atalanta.
Yeah.
Charlie,
Cracking games.
Cracking games.
Yeah.
Let me just.
But where is Chelsea?
Oh, relax.
Then the case at Atalanta.
Relax.
Where is Chelsea?
Relax. Oh, I don't know. Yes, I'm too embarrassed. So United Europa League draw. This is it. You'll be playing Rangers. You'll be playing Porto. You'll be playing. I think this is what.
Fenerbahce as well.
Yeah,
Fenerbahce.
You'll be playing Barbara Man's team, like.
Pauk.
Yeah, and you see Bodo, Glimt, and Victoria, and Chelsea. I see the team. Some of the teams. I didn't know there's a team like that. It's a team called Noah. Noah FC. Rather young ball. So yeah. So that's what will be happening, and we need to wrap our time. It's pretty much up. There's going to be games. What do you call it? Big game coming up on Sunday. Man United versus Liverpool. Massive game. We'll look forward to that. But guys, something is coming up 9 p.m. today. Today is the
transfer deadline day.
And we're gonna have a deadline day show. It's gonna be on Joy News and Joy Prime. My goodness. Achu is gonna be on it. Mufta is gonna be in it. Sicho is likely to be on it. We'll see.
Sicho is likely to be on it. Are you on it?
We have to talk to Mrs. to give him free pass. Says I watch for there.
But Sicho likes certain things. Sicho they like certain.
What open?
See this one. I see some picture. We had a conversation yesterday. Then this morning I wake up and I see Sicho has posted some picture that says, "Oh, sleeping beside someone you love reduces stress and makes you sleep faster."
But it's a fact.
My brother.
Relax.
You see,
Hold on. Don't stress.
See, no.
Was it your shade?
Allow him to answer.
Was it your shade?
I saw the. It's not shade.
No.
I saw the picture on IG.
Yeah.
And then I screenshot the picture. Because when I saw the picture, it was talking to me.
Directly.
These days, I sleep very well. And I didn't know why. I always do, yeah. But when I saw that comment, I was like, aha! That is why.
That is why.
Because I'm sleeping by the love of my life. Bro!
So are you in any way suggesting that effort is always stressed because...
No, you see, Achu is pained. PANSTQ.
No, me, I'm not paying. No, we'll just give Mrs. Achu's flowers to her.
You that you say it is facts, Do you sleep next to your love?
Joy News and an of professional bodies is organizing a public speaking event on the theme Transformed Individuals Transforming the World, a challenge for the religious community in Ghana. Speakers Dr. Philip Engman, Dr. Mrs. Yvonne Yirenchiwa Eseku, Ambassador Umar Sanda Ahmed, main speaker Reverend Dr. Joseph Kofi Enchi, moderator Philip Osei-Bonsu, host of Ekusi Sen Osampa. Date is 17 September 2024. Time is 6:30 p.m. Venue is British Council. And for more information, please contact 0244-220-427. The event is powered by Joy News and Joy FM. And that's all we have for you on Game Plan today. Guys, thank you for coming. We're going to be back.
Ghana Football Awards on Monday.
Okay.
The Ghana Football Association is organizing.
Yeah, we keep tabs on that. We keep tabs on that. Thanks so much for being part of the show. My name is Razak Musbao, Karim, and the other guys. I'm sure everyone is going to have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see what happens again. All right, we'll be back on Friday, hopefully. But then maybe Charlie Fento will go come this week, or he's still there town, sir.
It's Milano.
Okay, and
he covered the Rome Diamond League.
Nyamin Kano.